Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mavens of Motivation. We are so excited to have you here. And this is going to be absolutely a great day. So my name is Barbara Ellison, and I am the founder of the Wellness Playroom, where wellness is not just about not being sick. It's about just being the best ever version of yourself. So, and I want to introduce you to my co-host, the fabulous and pretty in pink, both of us, Miss Carol Henderson. Hi, Carol.
Hi. In case you don't know, pink is the favorite color for Miss Barbara Ellison. She brought me, you've heard her talk about her senior, her acronym senior, and she brought us both jackets when we went to Red Rock. And you'll see pictures on our page about the Red Rock retreat and us all there. And we were both in pink, bright and sunshiny in our senior pink jackets. And so we definitely stood out from the crowd because everybody else was wearing black and gray.
Yes, exactly. And we were in bright pink. Yeah. And the thing is that, it's exciting to see that. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Are you excited and motivated? How do those two things go together? And so right now, if you are not feeling quite so much excited, and you're not feeling quite so motivated, well, we've got a few tips that we're going to share with you today about how to do that. But we're also going to celebrate a couple of new things that we're doing. And Carol's going to start off with one of the things that has happened by her.
Well, first of all, I'm going to finish introducing myself.
Oh, yeah, right. Why did you not do that?
I threw it to you without doing that. And I'm Henderson, and I have Life by Design. And I want you to know you can design your life. It doesn't have to be just ho-hum or what somebody else tells you it needs to be. You get to design it, and you design it so many different ways. Number one is your attitude. Number two is your mouth. In fact, I think your mouth may be number one. If you're talking down about your life all the time, it's going to spiral down. If you're talking good about your life, it will spiral up. But yes, and I want to start out with my gratitude for first responders. We have had an enormous prairie fire within 5 miles of our home. And I mean, I've forgotten how long, I think 17 or 20 miles long, raging across the prairie night before last. And at this point, 79,000 acres burned, and it's only about 70% contained. But the fun part of that is I got to see the firefighting planes up close and personal. And you can go on my personal page and see. In fact, I'll put it up on this page. I live on a lake, and they would fly over our house and go down. And a friend had posted pictures of these planes that would taxi on the lake. And while they're doing that, the pressure builds up and pushes the water into the big pontoons. And pontoons are those floaties for a plane that lets them land on water. Well, these are made for them to go and fill up, and they don't quit moving, and then they take off again. And you can hear them. They're loud planes, but they take off again, and they were flying right over my house. I have multiple videos of them doing that. And they flew right over my house and went and dumped the fire. But they did it all day one day, and then again the next morning. And so I just want to give a shout out for the park rangers and the fire department and the police and DPS and
volunteers.
It was all hands on deck. In fact, I live outside of town, 45 miles. The roads were closed. It literally, the fire went from before one highway all the way across to another highway and jumped and was burning on a ranch. But right now they have saved every ranch house in that area. any that were threatened. They actually have firefighters stationed at the homes to protect them, and they're working on the hot spots and the other places. But the planes made such a big difference in their ability, and the county maintainers cutting the fire lanes so that there would be a wide swath, because our winds were up in the 60-70 mile-an-hour winds while this fire was burning. And so I am tanking up on water today, because just the dehydration from the high winds. We had high winds for several days, and then the fire on top of it. And so, you don't want to get dehydrated. So there's my little plug for your health today. Make sure you're drinking enough water, at least half your weight in ounces. So take your pounds, convert it to that number of ounces. Like if you weigh 100 pounds, 100 ounces, and half. So you would need to drink 50, so half. So make sure you get, that's a minimum. That is a minimum of water per day to stay healthy. So, but that, I just wanted to give a shout out to all the first responders, and I will post all those pictures and stuff on this page so that you can see. I have it on my story, and I have it on my personal wall, but yeah, we'll make it easy for you to find it, because they were impressive. It was fun to watch them. So that was a little pizzazz in my day yesterday.
Yeah. And for me, I grew up half a mile from the end of the international runway in Montreal, Canada. So we used to plane watch all the time, because we were right between two, we were like right here between two active runways. And it was just amazing to see these planes just coming in, and like, especially at my sister's, and we all, that's the area that we grew up, and we can sit at my sister's and watch the planes coming in, and you will see at night, and we would like doing it at night too, because we would see, 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 planes on approach.
Mhm.
And it is, if you've never gone plane watching near an airport, I would really encourage you to do it. It is just how fast they come in and how they take off. And it's like, oh, wow. And between, so we were between, so we could sit on our back porch and plane watch.
Yeah, my grandfather used to take me down to Houston Hobby, which was a very big airport back in the day. And they had open concourses, and we could go out and just stand and watch them. And the planes would turn, and all the exhaust would just hit you. It would be hot, and I mean, no protection, no barriers, no, and even my husband and I used to go sit at the end of a little private runway here in Amarillo that we would watch the planes take off and land. And now it's paved and you can't do that anymore. But that's where the planes were. I think that's where they parked them last night. I'm not sure, but I had heard that they were out there at that private airport. But there were 3 of them. They would come, and they would just zoom over. So it was and just back and forth all day long, fighting that fire. And if you've never watched the movie Always with Richard Dreyfuss and John Goodman and I've forgotten the girl's name, but anyway, go watch it. It's about, I think they're called smoke jumpers, but I think that's wrong. But it's about the firefighting airplanes. And get you a box of tissues. But it's a really good movie. We're going to go watch it again.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but you know what? You and I, we've been known to go down rabbit holes. So that was a little bit of a rabbit hole. But you know what the thing is, though? All of those things that we just talked about, memory is so important for your excitement.
Yes.
You can call up a memory, a fun memory, a pleasant memory, an exciting memory, and it can absolutely change your mindset.
Yes.
It's a choice. We've
Yeah.
talked about it before, that so much of motivation is a choice. So that's what if even one thing that Carol and I just talked about triggers some kind of a memory in you, a pleasant memory.
Yeah.
It's so important. It's so important because, everything doesn't have to be the right now. Yes, we have to move forward. We have to take steps to go forward. Absolutely. But not everything has to be brand new right now. There are things that I can remember feeling so excited as a kid of going to do something. Oh, and we would be planning it all day. We would be planning and planning and planning and excited. Oh, we couldn't wait. Well, those same emotions, your brain does not know. Let's have a brain lesson for a second. Your brain does not know the difference between that happening 25 years ago than it happening right now.
Yes. And I had just had that thought. But the other side of that is if you watch slasher movies or
Right.
horror movies or any kind of thing that is dark and
Scary.
yes, scary. Okay.
Nightmarish.
Your body does not know. Your brain, your body doesn't know the difference. They think you and think about how movies can exude emotions. It can trigger emotions. Your body doesn't realize that you're not going through that emotion. It doesn't know, it doesn't realize that you're not hiding from the bad guy trying to kill you. And so your body reacts, your adrenaline starts pumping, your fight or flight syndrome kicks in. And that's stress. Okay. Stress can be from moving. Stress can be, there's some good stress, but most stress, even if it's a good thing. When we moved to Dallas and my children were very small, and all of a sudden, one son especially, and my husband both started having horrid ear infections constantly, just over and over and over. But it was this, and the baby was only 9 months old. So, but just the stress of moving, and it caught it, and actually up in their vitamin C would have done a very great deal. I was not aware of that at the time. So, we suffered with the ear
It was a
infection.
learning process.
Yeah, I mean, I can't beat myself up for what I didn't know, but it, stress, even when it's a good thing, even like a move or a new job or something like that, those are still stresses, and you need to treat them. You need to give your body grace to move through those stresses and to give yourself a chance to embrace it and go forward
Mhm.
as best it can, but also nourish yourself. Give yourself all the building blocks. Remember, I've said there's nothing your body cannot heal itself from. I firmly believe that there is. I mean, if you have a broken bone that was broken in half and fused at this, angle, it's going to take God to heal that. But your body, He put in our bodies to heal themselves. So 99.9% of the things wrong with your body can be healed through nutrition. And if you can find the proper building blocks, your body knows what to do with the building blocks if you just give it to them. And
Right.
heard me say before, a bowl of spinach in 1975. Okay. It takes 30 bowls of spinach in 2000 to make that one bowl of spinach nutritionally. And it hit me the other day. We're almost another 25 years from 2000. So I have no clue
Right.
how many bowls of spinach it would take now. But just that 1 to 30 is a lot. So that tells you need to be doing something. And we wonder why
Right.
I remember asking when I was younger, why are people having so many more illnesses, so many more sicknesses? And I was told, oh, they're just better at diagnosing it. No, those people were out plowing by hand in their 80s. We went through the Appalachian museums when we were out there. And I mean, one man hung up got hung in a tree because he was cutting down something, picking something, I don't remember what. And he hung there for 2 days before they found him and got him down. He was alive, just a tough old boot, coot, whatever. But
Right.
those people, and I sit on my porch and I look at the land and I look where it goes down to the lake, and I'm thinking they took a wagon across here. Now they
Right.
walked. I will tell you, those people think
Right.
they're sitting up the right. There was the driver, but 99% of the time the people were walking.
They
Because
watch
it lightened the load. It made it easier on the oxen or
oxen.
cows, whatever, team they had. But it's rough out here. And then I think rattlesnakes. And they didn't have comfy shoes. They didn't have Nikes.
Mm-mm.
They had, and I'm thinking,
Barely, yeah.
yeah, and no arch supports, just
The leather.
hard piece of leather. But they
Yeah.
they were healthier than we are, but they had better nutrition. Their food hadn't been doctored. They cooked from scratch, even on the wagon train where they had flour and coffee and sugar, and that was the bulk of it. So
Mhm.
I'll
Yeah.
get off my nutrition soapbox. But
Yeah.
if you're in stress, take care of your building blocks. Add some extra.
Right.
And if you don't know
Right.
what to add, give one of us a yell. We can help you.
Yeah. And that's so true, because all of the things that Carol just talked about, that we just talked about, all impact our motivation,
Mhm.
how we feel. Are we excited? And so, but I did want to give you 4 tips on just adding to your excitement. And we're just gonna give them to you, and then in the next weeks or so, we'll expand on them. But because not everybody has all of the things, but something to research. So the first thing that I thought we would talk about is connect with your purpose. And I've said this before, I always thought my purpose was some grandiose big thing. And yet it is, once I realized how simple our purpose is, it's like for me, my purpose is 3-pronged: serve God, to learn something, and then teach somebody else something that I've learned. That's it. So simple. And one of the things that I have learned this week is called a tactile. I call it a tactile tool. When you know that little negative voice in your head, and hey, we all have it. The one that beats you up, the one that says, "Oh, you idiot, what did you do? Why did you do that? Why can't you learn?" All those thoughts. Well, when you hear that little voice, rub your fingers together. So simple, rubbing your fingers together. And I thought, really, seriously, that's really going to help. It really does. I've been practicing it all week. And it really does, because what it does is it short circuits the negative side of your brain and puts you over into the positive side of your brain. Number one, I didn't know that we had a positive and a negative side of our brain.
Well, I have a question for you. Does it matter which hand you use?
Nope. It's just the thing that it's the tactile is so that you stop. It's the focus that you're focusing on, because one of the things your brain, which I did know, your brain cannot do anything for two things ever at exactly the same time. They can be milliseconds apart, but they can't do. So when you can short circuit your brain by focusing on feeling the ridges on your finger, if you can feel the ridges, and that's what you have to focus on, that will short circuit your brain, that it'll stop thinking the negative thing and put you more over into the positive.
And some people, they already use a particular tactic that if you're starting to, go down the spiral, and,
Mhm.
because it's a vexation is basically the real name for it, where you're just going around and around, and that record's playing over and over and over to get up and change your location. But it's
Right.
the same thing. This is something you could do at work, in your cubicle, in your car,
Right.
without having to get up and walk somewhere, because that's not always an option.
Right.
You're sitting in a room full of people, and all of a sudden everything goes negative, and it's just relation, and you can sit and read through your fingers and just smile.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
And
we have a thing here in Texas, and somebody's just saying something to you and they're just being really, they're showing their backside. It's kind of what we say down here, but we go, "Oh, Barbara, that bless your heart. Bless your heart." And it's become a joke that we do that in here in Texas, but then it really gets it when you just bless your heart, sweetie pie.
mhm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when you have any kind of that something that's coming against you,
Mhm.
this is a little tip to get in touch with, and exactly what Carol just said, change your environment. Well, sometimes you can't always change your environment. You
Yeah.
can't get up and walk out on your boss.
Although you might want to.
You want to, and that in itself is a stress. So, but you can change how you feel about it. And so that's why just, and you can be just sitting here doing this, and who knows? They don't know what you're doing. They're just, oh, it's just a nervous tick that they have. Okay, great. But in your mind, you know that you are either tuning out the negative, tuning out that stressor that is of whatever is happening in that meeting, but you're doing it for yourself.
And
And the
it
thing
doesn't
is,
mean that you're not listening to your boss, or
you're
that
not
you're not
listening.
going to take what he says and try to make it better. You're lowering the flame.
Stress of it.
You're
Stress
turning
of it.
down that flame to where it's a simmer instead of a raging fire. But also something else that will help to turn that flame down that I thought of while you were talking is you need more than one stream of income. When you are
Right,
tied to one stream of income,
right,
it becomes an end all be all. But
right.
if you have another stream of income, and I don't care what it is, I mean, you could have a little baking thing on the side, just,
Be a dog
uh,
walker. Friend of
book
mine's a
money,
dog
dog
walker.
walker.
She walks
You
dogs.
could join a company that, I am a big fan of network marketing because all the hard work's done. The
Right.
the
All the branding,
the
all of it.
branding is done, the tools are done. I mean, an app that would cost millions literally to make, and it's done for you. And so, those kind of things take your pressure level down. People who are already in a networking marketing situation, whether they had a daytime job or two or three. Sometimes people are working two and three jobs nowadays,
Yeah.
but people who were already savvy network marketers did not suffer through COVID like other people did. The shutdown affected them. It affected all of us, but it didn't affect in the same way of somebody that lost their income and had to wait until the money started flowing in from the government.
Right.
So we're all about being free and
Yeah.
designing your own life and not being told what your life is going to be like. And so many people, more people, and I don't have the statistics on it, but I've seen lots and lots of different reports that more people chose not to go back to their regular
Right. Oh,
jobs
yeah.
after the shutdown because they had found another. I mean, I think entrepreneurs just flourish
Oh, have come out
during
of the
this
woodwork.
time. And yeah, because people had time to pursue their passions. They
Right.
had time to do the all the things that, I mean, I have one friend and she's showing her art in galleries now. She had always wanted to paint and never had time because she had a 9 to 5 job. And so that's one of the things that people, and many parents have decided to homeschool because they enjoyed being with their kids and they enjoyed teaching their children what they wanted them to
What
learn
they wanted to teach
without
them.
all the indoctrination that comes with some educations. So it's your choice. Design your life. If you want any pointers, you can reach out to either one of us. We do,
Yeah.
you know, we can talk to people privately. That is not a problem. Put your questions down in the comments because we love questions and comments. So put your questions down in the
Yep.
comments and we will be more than happy to have you, to answer your questions on here. And or you can book with us when you can text SHINE to the 855-476-4845 to get a hold of Barbara, or you can text wellness to the same number, 855-476-4845 to get a hold of me. And you can, if nothing else for fun, go look it up and look up both of them and see all the things we do on the side, because we do both have multiple streams of income. And I even have one, well, we both have free gifts on there. So she'll give you a personality test, and I'll give you a free fragrance or a free frequency. It's a flower frequency. So go check it out.
Nice. So that wraps us up for today. We always say we said we were going to go shorter today. Man, we didn't.
I told you
Here we are. We probably wouldn't. But
we enjoy
anyways,
each other's company and y'all's company too so much.
Exactly. So, like us, share us, tell your friends about us, and we will see you next week.
Yes.
Talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye.